Yo, welcome back, y'all. How y'all doing? Welcome back to another episode of the whole office persona thing. We're gonna talk about the different personalities you'll see in the office. Here's the thing. So again, just a disclaimer: it's not gonna be everybody. Everybody's not gonna be exactly this one thing or two things or whatever. We're all different facets of, different personality types. We're a mixture of these things. Okay, these are tropes. These are almost like caricatures, okay? Extremes versions of people, okay? So life is a lot more complicated. Don't take this to be like a one and done thing. You're not like this guy or that guy. But some people, sometimes they fall into those certain types of tropes. Life is stranger than fiction, right? Truth is stranger than fiction. So buyer beware, pay attention. Some results may vary. See store for details. Okay, don't blame me. All right, so today's episode is going to be on what is known as the blue blade. Okay, the blue blade is somebody who is a mercenary. They're a merc, and they are also a believer. They're both. Okay, they're equal parts of both. It could be good, it could be bad. Now, here is the part that you have to keep in mind. This person is kind of motivated by self-worth, also validation from others, from the outside. That's kind of the big takeaway from it, right? They believe in the mission, or they fell into the mission. They fell into whatever the mission of the company is. So let's say the corporation mission is to make as many sales as possible, and they come in, they get hired for their skill, and they are, for the most part, willing to walk away from the job or whatever. But something happens to them where they start to believe in the system, and they start believing in the office and the job and the people, and they get connected with the people, and they become a believer of the program. They became part of the community, the workplace family, which is how a lot of people get screwed over. They kind of fallen in and kind of forgotten a part of their mercenary mentality. Like they kind of lost a couple of, they became tamed, right? Whether that's because they desire to belong somewhere, which is a big motivating factor, or it's because they see themselves moving up in the company, which happens a lot. A lot of mercenaries, they go into a company. For example, Google. Let's say you work at Google, okay? You start working at Google for first couple of weeks. In the beginning, everything's kind of like you're still on edge. You're still kind of like, you don't take it seriously. You don't identify yourself with it. But slowly over time, you kind of get used to the little benefits, little knickknacks, the paddywhacks, all the stuff. They gave you a bone, okay? They gave the dog a bone, and you took a bite out of it, and you liked it, okay? Sometimes people will, unfortunately, which I tell people not to do this. I cannot stress this enough. People do this forbidden thing, which is the taboo thing I've always said not to do. Form a relationship at the job. And what I mean by that is I'm talking about romantic, okay? We're talking about other it's lust or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's bad. You don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. One second. Okay, back to the thing. You got people moving around and running around, so I don't want to get cut off. So my point of this story I'm trying to tell you is this. You cannot at all, I just wanted to take a moment to let you know you cannot do this, okay? For the love of God, don't do this. Now people do it, and that's, again, it's your life. Do whatever works for you. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you do. But remember the risks I've always talked about. It gets complicated. You can't be a mercenary anymore if you kind of have ties to the workplace, right? If you have those kind of emotional ties, it makes things more complicated. It makes things messy. You have issues later on as far as movement or whatever, because you have to do your job. And the job can be ruthless sometimes. And that's a fact of life. So you guys have to keep that in mind. But that's what happens that's another motivating factor for why some people become a blue blade, right? Blue blade means it has a double meaning, right? You have you're a knight, you're a believer, you're a paladin. You really want to help. You want to make things better for people, right? You come in, you think you're gonna fix it, you want to fix everything, but you're not really a leader, right? You're not really in charge. You don't really have that personality trait that makes you like a leader, or you're not really assertive like that. You don't have that in you. So you kind of just are a part of the team, right? You still kind of are a team player, kind of mechanic, dynamic. Mercenaries, they tend to, when they're not a blue blade, they tend to look at a situation, and when they see that they're unhappy for whatever reason, they walk away. This is the part that messes up blue blades versus mercenaries. The blue blade is okay with, dealing with that. They're okay with the unhappiness. They've succumbed to it. They've made exceptions to the rule. They have they started out one way, like, hey, this is who I am, and they ended up this other way. And so unfortunately, they made some sort of compromises that they're not, normally would ever make, and that makes, life more complicated, hard. It makes things more desperate, makes things more depressing, and then at the end of the day, they eventually kind of fall into full believer mode. They never really stay on both sides. It's a very tough fence to stay on. It's not really a line that you can kind of cross forever. At some point, you have to make a real concerted effort of leaving or staying, and they end up staying a lot of the times. That's not everybody. Again, that's not everybody. That's not going to be everybody, but it tends to be that they do stay and they are unhappy, and it's unfortunate. That's why I say be careful about becoming a blue blade. If you are that way, one of the things you can do is find books that tell you how to say no to people, be assertive, right? Learning how to disconnect from people is a big skill. I always talk about practicing apathy. Again, these companies, these corporations don't care about you. That's the big takeaway from this stuff, okay? There is a lesson in this. They tend to be a tool. They become a tool for the other people in the corporation, right? They get used just like a believer. That's the part of the believer that they are. And again, corporations love the blue blade, because when they get in there, when they get their teeth into them, they really sink their teeth in, they pull them in, and it's over. So, you kind of have to be cognizant of that part of you, if you're somebody like that, who you started out one way and then you became a believer of the program, whatever the program is, whatever the corporate, mantra is. That's the part of the mercenary that's healthy. You're able to just, come in, get paid, go home, makes things clean. Again, everyone's going to be different. Some people do it, some people don't do it. Some people become a believer and they stay that way, and that's who they are, and that causes resentment, and maybe they become something else. Maybe they become more toxic as a result. Maybe they become a sulker. Like, that's a way from the mercenary to the sulker. It's very seamless. It takes a couple months, and then that's it. That's who they are. Again, habits. These habits are formed when you are subconsciously accepting certain things and caveats. And if you're cognizant of that, you'll be more prepared to walk away. The type of person that they work best with is a captain, which is another prestige we'll talk about in the future. They work well with, a sage, a leader. They work well with another mercenary, even though the other mercenary will see through that, and they tend to confront that. They kind of go, hey, buddy, or sometimes some mercenaries don't. That's like a really ruthless one. That's probably another type of prestige, to be honest with you. There's another prestige I won't mention. Still working on the notes for that. But yeah, there's more prestige classes that are a type of personality that is like, what the hell's wrong with this person? I'm gonna keep to myself. But I did notice that. And so another person that they work really well with is another believer, of course, obviously. Another believer, they do work well with them. And then they also really work well for some reason. Well, I guess it's because they like to follow. They do work really well with people who are other types of believers, like the captain, which is kind of a more tenuous kind of thing. It's not really a believer. The captain's more of a full-on leader who is impartial. So that's a whole other subject. In the future, we'll talk about that. But One person that they do not work well with is any kind of clown, any kind of jester, anybody who's a joker, anybody who can see through it and is laughing at it. They're gonna be like, boy, you really messed up, didn't you? You really fell hard, didn't you? Because they'll confront them. They will confront that kind of person. They'll laugh about it. They won't take it too seriously. It is what it is, and that's the unfortunate truth. You gotta be, and in a way, it's a good thing because they're able to wake up more, right? That helps you kind of wake up and recognize, oh, am I being a believer? Oh no, because again, what is a believer's main quality? Getting used, right? And so, it is what it is. Anyways, that's it for now. Let me know what you guys think. I'll do another one. We're gonna do another one in a couple of days. Let me know how you think about this one. Are you a blue blade? Let me know. Let me know. My condolences. Anyways, take it easy. Peace.